brought to you by Ardecor. We keep you covered. And Horizon Recording Live. Live sound for your events.
He didn't say anything in the whole press conference. He walks off at the cast, didn't say anything, and then he goes, "What? You think this is funny?" Like, he brought up the cast. Don't give up on your team. You can't be considered the best player in the world and then give up.
Created that narrative everywhere he's went.
Because he's not a killer. He doesn't.
This is exactly why Kyrie left.
1.1, the Warriors cemented themselves as the greatest team of all time. Welcome to Comeback Liner, a Chicago sports podcast brought to you from the fans, by the fans. And a quick reminder, please subscribe. We have a subscriber raffle for you guys. We want you to enter it, and you can only be entered if you are a subscriber of the show. And please subscribe. You might get a shirt. So on today's episode, we have the NBA Finals recap, and LeBron got stomped.
What finals?
Q, yeah, I know, right? Q, what are your thoughts on LeBron's stomping of nobody?
You threw me a question. Now I'm going to throw you guys a question. Is anybody surprised the Warriors won in 4 games?
I'm pretty sure I called that how many episodes ago?
Well, Chris Paul got injured, to be fair, which is why my pick, the Rockets, weren't there. If Chris Paul's healthy, I have a pretty good feeling Rockets winning Game 7 in Houston. However, that wasn't the case. So, Warriors.
No surprise here. I mean, the only surprise I had was that Cavs were close game 1, but I mean, I figured it would be double-digit losses every game. They kept it kind of close.
Game 1 was a double-digit loss.
It ended up being a double-digit loss in overtime.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair. That's all J.R. Smith, though. He didn't.
No.
Really?
No.
What?
No, I'm glad you brought that point.
LeBron scored over 50 with the efficiency, one of the best games of all time.
He would never scored 50, then go to overtime.
I would blame JR as the third issue. Second issue was George Hill missing the free throw.
80% free throw shooter.
But the bigger issue is LeBron not taking the final shot. He passed the ball. Who's supposed to be the GOAT and passes the ball in that situation? You had a defensive matchup in your favor, and you passed the ball.
Yeah, it's pretty true. I mean, he did have what Curry was on him at that point, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I think there's about a foot difference in size there.
Foot difference, about 100 pounds. I mean.
And you know what? Everybody's going to say, oh, well, Michael Jordan didn't always take the game-winning shot. LeBron made the smart basketball move. Well, making the smart basketball move to George Hill cost them the game. And when you're the GOAT, those are shots you take. Mm-hmm. He took the shot against the Pacers. He made it. Took the shot against Toronto. He made it. All right. He had another opportunity, game 1, to freaking punch the Warriors in the face, and he passed it up. The stage was too bright for him.
He already celebrated the game-winning shot twice, remember?
Yeah, like it was the finals.
Seriously, it was the finals.
Oh, my God. No, that game 1, JR is getting a lot of this. Oh, he didn't know the score. At the end of the day, it shouldn't have even been in that situation because LeBron, you should have taken to the hole or pulled up for a shot. You're supposed to be taking
Is that a
shot.
leadership issue? Whether if it's Ty Lue or LeBron, should somebody, if you know you have a knucklehead like J.R. Smith, shouldn't somebody be telling, this isn't the first time he's done this. You know this is the sort of player you have. Shouldn't somebody be telling him what you're going to do if it's a missed shot?
Yeah. I mean, and they also had a timeout.
So the entire team makes a mental lapse. Ty Lue doesn't call the timeout. It kind of looks like LeBron's trying to call timeout.
I think he was too stuck with his hands.
Everyone thought J.R. Smith was going to take that shot. That's the issue. Is the fact that he didn't.
Well, if he takes the shot and Durant swats it out of his face, then we're not having this conversation here, which is very possible.
But he didn't. He dribbled it out clearly because he's an idiot, and he dribbled it out.
He passed it up with 0.3 seconds.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I'm listening to the game on the radio, and the radio announcer pretty much announces the Cavs win, and I know it's a tie game. I'm completely befuddled. What happened here? Did it go in? I had no idea. And then the announcer retracts the statement.
That was
so
the
by
best
JR
part.
running out, he got confused. That was
He
funny.
thought the Cavs won. I know I've heard the clip. The guy goes off. He's like, and the Cavs are gonna win. J.R. Smith takes. Oh, it's a tie game. I'm sorry. It's a tie game. Like, what are you, an idiot?
But I mean, let's take it back a step here. The whole series. The one thing I noticed is like, okay, is Steph Curry goes 1 for 10 in a game, and the Warriors still win, and pretty easily. I mean, that's how deep the Warriors were.
Are you talking about game 3 right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
we were still on
Dude,
game 1
We're
here.
on game 1 here, bro.
Who cares about game
Dude,
1?
settle down.
Well,
here.
game
We
one
didn't
was
even get
the-
to
well,
the. We
one-
didn't even get to the Durant charge.
Hold up. We're talking about
unprecedented
game.
call.
Good point. Great point.
Let's
Great
pull
point.
it back. Game 1, LeBron had one of the greatest playoff games
To lose
of
the game.
all time.
He lost.
He did not lose that game. J.R. Smith did. Amazing rebound. Great.
How'd he play in overtime?
Did he score?
It doesn't
point?
matter. He shouldn't have even been in overtime
Yeah.
because they should have
Free throws.
won.
Oh, okay.
Where was the leadership after JR makes that blunder and you get back to the huddle and instead
Oh my God! Did you see those
pouting
memes?
like a little 2-year-old in the corner? Where's the leadership?
The leadership was when he scored 50 plus points with a 60% field goal and almost a near triple double.
And
the
he
guy
lost.
Yeah, that's not because he lost despite.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought when times were tough and things are going well, I didn't know the leader of that team is supposed to kind of just sit back and relax. in
Oh,
the
he was
background.
relaxing when he scored 50 plus points, when he was over 55%
Wait,
field goal
so-
ratio.
So you have a
when it
chance
was
to win the
over
game on
10
the road,
rebounds and 10 assists.
And instead
Sir,
of
you
being
are wrong.
positive, instead of being positive and motivating your team for another 5 minutes because they played nearly a perfect game at that point, with the exception of the blunders, that's the opportunity in front of you. It's the finals. You don't hold anything back. And instead, he pouts like a 2-year-old, and then once they lose, because he didn't insert his dominance in overtime, he punches a whiteboard, and then he says, "Oh, I played the series with a broken hand."
Yeah, I mean, that was a little funny. But
I heard he slapped it, but whatever.
I'm not going to make this joke.
No.
Okay, go.
LeBron in overtime. I mean, did you see the last 5 minutes? They ran the same play. They would set a pick, and then it would be Curry on LeBron. It was the same play. LeBron would take it in and get the layup or the foul. That stopped in overtime. I don't know why they stopped it, because Warriors were giving it to them. LeBron pretty much just gave up mentally, pretty much told the team, I'm done.
You could see
guys
it.
F this up. I did my best. I can't do anything more.
He quit in overtime again. What does he do every time this team goes down in a tight game?
How can you even say he quit when your teammate in such a big stage is willing to have such a blunder? That would knock anyone off their feet.
Not really.
Yeah, no.
He always
J.R.
needed
Smith effed it up for everybody, man. LeBron is a victim here.
Oh God,
No, it's tough. What'd you guys think about the Durant call, though?
dude, that is a hard decision either way. Although I don't believe that replay should have allowed them to change the call.
Do you think it was a charge?
I believe it was a charge because I don't think the
Charge?
feet were set.
Not a charge.
You seriously don't think it's charge?
No.
Charge?
It was clearly a charge. There's
Clearly
no
a
way
charge.
LeBron had his feet set. He was still moving. And
You guys are haters, dude.
No, Kyle
you're
makes the-
making up stuff because it's.
Well, Kyle makes a
maybe
valid
not.
point. It's
Yeah,
kind of an
it's not true.
unprecedented call in that situation in the finals. 2
They
minutes
called the
left.
block.
The refs kind of stretched the rule a little bit to take a look at it. But at the end of the day, you always hear people complain with these calls that they want the right call made. That was the right call.
Sorry,
I mean, they
it
reviewed
was
it.
called
It was the right call.
a charge foul was called. It was a blocking foul originally.
No, other way around, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was
No.
called. Yeah, it was called a block.
Okay.
They reversed
And it
to
should have been a
charge.
block.
Well, if you take a look at
Should have been
both
a block.
referees, one ref is calling for the charge, the other one's calling for a block.
No, because Durant was charging in, and they called it, and LeBron was sent his feet. So they called a charging foul originally on Durant, and then they reversed it. All right?
No.
No,
we're talking-
Durant's driving in. They called him. No, you're right. They called him for the charge.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
a block.
Yeah, no. So,
But I don't think
it
it's-
was not a charge foul.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it was a block because I don't think his feet were set.
Exactly.
He
He
had
was
one,
kind of twisting his body,
and he had
at the
one,
same
and he had a
time.
foot up in the air at the time.
Well, he was moving his feet as it was coming in.
And then I listened to some other people explain it later, and was it Jeff Van Gundy that said that in the NBA, a charge you only need to have 1 foot in place. It's not like college and high school.
Yeah, I
where
don't
you
know
need
what
2.
Van Gundy was.
What the
spewing
hell
at
is
the
he
time.
thinking?
He was just. I mean, Van
No,
Gundy.
Van Gundy is a good analyst. He
Yeah.
is my favorite analyst, and he's right.
You think he was right?
Absolutely.
Well, the refs
Clearly didn't.
disagreed, and then the NBA reviewed the play in the last 2-minute report, where they review every play in the last 2 minutes, and they give out the report. Definitely said the refs made the right call.
See,
when they reversed.
that's
So
where
do
you're
you
wrong.
want?
No.
So at the end of that game, though, everybody was very critical of that reversal. So are they unhappy that the correct call was made?
I think some were unhappy that they reviewed it because they should have said it shouldn't have been reviewable.
Well, I thought at that point a foul call was not reviewable, but they took it and expanded a rule that allowed them to review the play, and then they changed the foul call.
Yeah, no, there was another play they reviewed while reviewing that play.
They were
able
checking to
review.
see if his feet were in the circle, which
Correct.
they clearly
Were
weren't
not.
close.
It was too.
At which point they kind of stretched the ruling to their benefit. And to be quite frank, I don't mind that they did that. I want the correct call made.
That's true.
The correct
I mean,
call was made.
No, it
Which-
was a
let's be
blocking
happy
foul.
with that.
It was a blocking
You know,
foul.
you can't say much with the way the NBA referees are now that the correct call is made all the time.
Yeah, seriously.
It was a
We all
blocking
know
foul.
that
We
they're.
agree.
Yeah, I mean.
We agree. Game 3. We're on to game 3.
Let's
Well,
go
you don't want to
game-
talk about game 2?
We are on.
Game 2, wasn't that the blowout?
Yeah,
game?
it was a
Wait, you
blowout
guys don't
game.
want to talk about how the refs rigged the series win in the Warriors' favor?
Why would they rig it in the Warriors' favor? Why
Yeah,
would they
there's
wanna
more
rig it?
money
I
The
can't believe
series
they did it
goes
either.
longer.
I am on your side here, Cena. There is no way that is possible. I agree with you that the refs did rig it in the Warriors' way, and that is
What?
ridiculous. It's
I'm
not
just
fair.
saying the opposite.
Yeah,
No,
the
I
refs were
agree
gonna
with
rig-
you. Cena.
If the
It's
refs,
the Warriors, the Warriors were the.
If you're gonna rig it, you're gonna rig it.
so you get 7 games worth
Yes.
of ratings, 7 games worth of money.
I'm so sick of
Money,
these
money.
conspiracy theorist talks.
Well, David Stern's gone, so he's not rigging the lottery. The lottery's not rigged, and you know it was rigged because David Stern, you little sneaky little mother effer, you rigged that every freaking year,
What, Patrick Ewing?
dude. Oh, hometown team, Bulls got the first pick. Oh, the year Derrick Rose is there.
Derrick Rose.
Oh, LeBron James. Oh, hometown Ohio. Oh, hey,
Yeah, I mean,
Cleveland.
if there's
First
any
pick.
kind of evidence that there's rigging, that's LeBron James to Cleveland in that year for sure.
So does Steph Curry get a free pass for game 3 or not?
No,
No,
he
he
won
doesn't.
MVP, didn't he?
no, he didn't.
Who won MVP?
He was 3
Durant.
for 16,
They
5
gave-
rebounds, 6
they gave it to
assists.
the freaking Curry.
You should have watched
He had
more of
11
Oh, I'm editing
points
this
in
part.
game 3.
11?
3 for 16, game 3.
And they still
And that
pounded
was
him.
that was the close game. It
That
finished
was like, what, 7 points?
well,
No,
thanks
Durant-
to Kevin Durant.
Durant made that
who
50
went all
footer.
Durant on LeBron's AS star.
All right, is anyone pissed that Durant is that good with this team? He can't be double teamed. He has elite skills.
Yeah,
There's nothing
it-
to stop. It's not even fun anymore.
Yeah, it really annoys me.
It-
Did you hear his quote? He's like, about when they were asking about how he ruined the NBA, and he made a good point. He's like, it's not my job to worry about the NBA. It's my job to worry about myself. It's their job to worry about the NBA.
Dude, Durant made the.
That's a good point.
You have to look
But
at
he
it.
did ruin the NBA.
If you take it like wrestling terms, Durant made that giant heel turn from being with Oklahoma to go to Golden State, and man, is he playing it up ever now?
Yeah, he's a heel now that he has what 2 chips. I'm like,
Did you
I
guys
would have made that move too.
Did you guys think that Durant should have been MVP over Steph?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think Steph.
I think
deserved it.
Steph-
Well, Steph went off in game 4.
Yeah,
he put up
the reality
37.
is, let's be honest here. Durant is unstoppable as an isolation player, and he fits perfectly on that team.
He
And-
has the best mid-range game
Yeah,
in the
you can't
entire
stop
NBA.
it. He's perfect
It's-
for that team.
Here's my question: if the Warriors didn't have Durant and had to go with Curry, would this have gone more than 4 games?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah.
Now, if
Durant
the Warriors
changed a lot
didn't
of the
have
spacing
Curry
and
but only
everything.
had Durant, would it have stayed at 4?
No, it goes more games either way without one or the other because Steph spaces the floor and he does so many
Well, I think
things.
Steph's got too many. Steph has more players on that team that are like him. There's no player like Durant.
Are you asking who's more important than that
Yeah,
team? If you had
Durant
to
is-
pick one
yes.
going forward, no, you pick Durant. Durant's
So the most valuable player on that team is
generational
easily
player.
Durant.
I mean, his offensive game skill. I mean, he's
It's
probably got one of the
all
he
time.
probably has the best offensive skill game in the NBA. I mean, compared to his size, how he runs, how he shoots. I mean, he has a lot of skill, a lot of tough matchups against him. I mean, nobody can really guard him.
Based on his career arc, from what I've been reading, he's going to have all-time great numbers if he plays
Yeah.
just
He's going to be
good the rest of his
He
career.
might pass LeBron in the greatest of all time.
No, come on, relax.
No, I'm not joking.
He doesn't play
No,
defense.
No,
You know,
he's played it this year.
The only way that happens
In this
is
series.
if he changes teams and he wins a couple of championships.
You want the
somewhere else.
narrative? You want the narrative?
Well,
You
how
have
do
to be
you,
able to
even
lead
if
a
he
team.
wins 4 championships with the Warriors, how are you going to consider him better than LeBron?
so am I
LeBron's
hearing that
numbers are gonna be
you're
better.
saying that LeBron
Are the Warriors the Curry's team or Durant's team?
I think they're Durant's team now.
You're clearly wrong because
No.
everybody would tell you
Who's the best player on the Warriors right
It
now?
doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. It's
It
Curry's
doesn't.
team.
Okay, how is it his team?
Like
If
in
the best player
Miami,
is someone
it was
else.
still Wade's team.
No,
even
it was
though
LeBron's team.
No way,
Oh my
dude.
god, seriously?
Yeah,
But
Anywhere LeBron goes,
behind
it's
the
his
scene,
team.
behind the
ever.
scene politics, I think he's right.
Curry is the guy there. That's the thing that bothers Durant is that he'll never be as loved as Curry is there. He's the one that really brought them
Well,
home.
Durant had that
player.
chance in Oklahoma.
I
Yeah.
think Steph was pretty hurt. He didn't say it, but he was pretty hurt. He was an
my
MVP.
God, I was gonna bring that up. The pout he had on his face when they were interviewing him and they were watching Durant's little weak arms hold that trophy, barely holding that trophy up.
So they look a lot like ours, pretty much.
Well, dude, he makes my arms look huge. But he was just like pouting, looking in there. He's just watching Durant with his wrist breaking because that trophy is too heavy for him. He was definitely pouting. He definitely thought he won the MVP.
He said all the right things. That game 3 cost him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the narrative with Steph Curry is they've won all these championships.
Choked.
And it's not
Let's
it's
be
not that
honest,
he
he did
choked,
choke.
but yeah.
When you're competing at that echelon, you can't have games like
What
that.
they've
I'm
got
sorry.
what, three rings now? Golden State?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got 3 rings.
And Curry has how many MVPs?
0.
Ow.
2 regular
Ouch.
season MVPs.
Ouch.
Back to back.
Yeah, 2 regular season MVPs.
The
which he
first
said
one
is-
ever with unanimous.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the numbers he put up that were video game numbers. I mean,
Well, he transformed the league to an extent with the 3-pointer.
True.
Yeah.
No, I mean Curry is probably going to be one of the greatest regular season players, but I have not seen it in him from the playoffs. The playoffs slow down. A little more defense is played, and that's when he struggles.
No, I agree. What do you think of? So you guys remember the 3-pointer Durant hits game 3, big game. Cleveland's
end.
Puts it
home
away.
at the end. He's a couple of feet away from the 3-point line.
Couple, those are like a couple of yards.
LeBron had a chance to defend him, and he allows the switch.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of that?
See, I mean, there's a lot of plays like that throughout the series where LeBron could have taken that extra step and
He chose not
been
to.
the differential player. Hey, I'm gonna lose it. It's on me if we lose it or not. And he always backed down and didn't take that extra step. And I hate how it's not being covered.
well,
It's crazy.
do you, perfect segue, do you agree with J.R. Smith's comments?
Yeah. Those
Which
are
ones?
They're pretty explosive.
The comments where he said that it doesn't matter what LeBron James does. If he wins, he gets all the credit. But if he loses, all the blame goes to us.
Yep.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I think everybody agrees. It's usually the case, right?
Like, who says that, by the way? I mean, like,
What do you mean who said
who?
that?
I mean, like, obviously J.R. Smith said it, but I mean, like, who wants to be told that? It's like literally, if you win, it's because of you. If you lose, it's because of me. It's like LeBron's got the sweetest basketball athletic.
Well,
deal
he's created that
publicly.
narrative
Yeah.
everywhere he's went.
Because he's not a killer. He doesn't.
This is
care
exactly why Kyrie left.
Yeah.
You know what? During the
what
entire
J.R. Smith
finals,
said.
and I went on my rant before about Kevin Love being good, and the guy gets no respect.
No.
In the finals, he goes 21-13 game 1, 22-10 game 2. 20-13 game 3. And then he has an off night in game 4 where he plays less than 30 minutes at 13-9, and that's the game LeBron also quit. So I don't really hold that against him.
13 shots? How many shots did LeBron take?
He's 20 and 10 every single game. However, you'd think he's playing with a bunch of scrubs out there. Made the All-Star team this year. He's an All-Star.
Yeah.
He's making over $100 million.
No, I agree. And
This isn't where LeBron's not taking a D-League team with him. He's got power. He's got this whole concept that LeBron took garbage with him is a joke.
it doesn't matter if you have garbage on. If you're the best, clearly the best player in the NBA, you're always going to have a shot. You know, the NBA, it's not football where you need a bunch of good players. It's a team. In NBA, one player makes a huge difference. So, I mean, I don't want to hear the excuses about his cast, who he has on his team. He still had,
Not the cast on his hand.
yeah, not the cast on his hand, but he had Kevin Love, All-Star. He had great surrounding players. It's part of his job as the best player in the NBA to help and pick up those other players. George Hill is a good player. I mean, Greg Popovich said that was one of the hardest trades he made was getting rid of George Hill. It's not like he's a scrub. He's getting $20 million a year either. It's just like the LeBron just doesn't improve his players when it comes to those big moments.
And a lot of players a lot of people will shy away from saying that because they take a look at the assist totals. They might take a look at the double teams. But I mean, there's so much more that goes into that. And that was something that Kobe Bryant had just mentioned the other day. And he pretty much said, Bron's got to figure out a way to win it. You want to win ships? You got to figure out a way. And then he had mentioned something the great Phil Jackson had said to him. It's your responsibility to thrust the game upon them. And that's something that he needs to do that as the superstar, as the greatest player on the planet. And he kind of takes a back seat.
First of all, let me ask you guys this question. If Jordan was down 3-0 in this series, how many shots do you think he takes in game 4?
50.
50. I agree. I was going to put the line at 45, and I was going to say over.
Yeah.
There's no way Jordan takes less than 15 shots.
Jordan also plays the entire game, doesn't complain that he's the most tired man in the NBA after it, and he probably drags two guys across the court that have no job being there just to win.
Didn't LeBron do that already?
No, but
He broke his hand, you guys. You guys are giving him no respect.
He didn't break his hand. He had a bruise on his hand. The X-ray, so it was a bruise.
Very bad bruise.
And what?
Oh my God!
What I'm saying is,
These
he
meatball
clearly
LeBron fans
gave up.
Don't be a millennial meatball.
Don't give up on your team. You can't be considered the best player in the world and then give up.
It's funny, that's the spin. He was playing with a broken hand.
Well, that's what he spinned it. He spinned it. He went on stage after game 4.
Yeah, he came out with the cast.
No. He didn't say anything in the whole press conference. He walks off at the cast, didn't say anything, and then he goes, what, you think it was funny? Like, he brought up the cast. Nobody brought it up. He brought it up.
He's like, yeah, I was playing with a broken hand since game 1. I punched the wall
He was,
after
like,
J.R.
laughing
Smith
about it.
was an idiot. I'm like, who says that?
One thing I wanted to comment to you. Did you happen to watch SportsCenter's top 10 the night the Warriors won it? What was the top play?
I don't remember.
It was LeBron James making a dunk.
Alley-oop dunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he broke his hand and he alley-oops himself and dunks it.
All right, before...
And then he's doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Flexing his biceps, doing some kissing.
Like, get out of here. I'm sure he left 20 minutes early to go punch his hand and to get it swollen and then get that wrapped up.
Well, in game 4, he did kind of quit in the third
like
quarter.
I said, it was...
Who wears a cast for a bruise?
But it was like that game I said in the Pacers where he was setting up his excuse with his calf or his hamstring, and then freaking Green hits 2 threes, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm fine." That's what he does. He sets up excuses for his losses. It's disgusting.
We have to do final comments here on this series. So here, Cena, I'll let you do final.
What do you want me to comment on?
What do you think about this NBA Finals?
I mean, NBA Finals. It's terrible when everybody predicted before the year started it's going to be Cavs Warriors again, and and the part that makes me angry is, why is the NBA offseason more exciting than the regular season in the playoffs? Because that's the only time you can't determine. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
That's true.
Funny.
So I mean, that's the only thing that it's. Let's just skip the regular season and make it like a daytime drama of free agency.
General Hospital NBA.
Yeah, pretty much. And let's just watch that.
All right, Q, what do you think?
It was, I honestly wasn't even planning on watching. LeBron drops 51, got me interested. I thought maybe it'd be a series. I was wrong.
Kyle?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I watched one full game cover to cover because there was no point in watching any first half of any of those games. And by the time the second half rolled around in 3 of the games, there wasn't a game.
This alludes to Sinan's point. It's not competitive.
It isn't.
It's not fun. It's not interesting.
Well,
Kevin Durant broke the
I got
NBA.
one more comment.
Okay, hold up. We got to do this.
Did you see how terrible the Warriors celebration was?
I mean, they're used to it.
Been there.
No,
done
it-
that.
still.
Been there,
Jordan
done
won
that.
6, and they were celebrating.
Yeah, but the Warriors are still upset that they lost the year they won 73 games.
I don't blame them either. I would be pissed if I lost to that.
mean, that was followed by
Jordan won't let their owner forget it.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the thing that Durant's never gonna get is like that year where LeBron came back 3-1. You
He'll
saw
leave.
the excitement in his
He'll leave.
face,
He'll leave.
right? The day before, you saw the Washington Capitals win one, and the joy in Ovechkin and the yelling and
Hockey is an
screaming.
entirely different animal to the NBA.
But I'm just saying, Durant, he's excited about winning these championships, but he's never gonna experience what those
Don't
guys.
say he's so
experience.
young. He'll leave. He's gonna try
No,
to.
I'm just saying right now.
Correct.
These 2 championships.
You're right.
It's not the same. When like LeBron won those 2 with Miami, it wasn't the same. You saw it was different when he won the one in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I earned this one. Ovechkin, I earned this one. This guy hasn't earned one, and he knows it. So I definitely agree.
Yeah.
He will.
So what you're really saying is Durant, go to Chicago. The Bulls need you.
I would finally
Let's go,
become
baby.
a Bulls fan again if Durant.
Let's
went to
go.
Chicago. All right, so my final comments is that 1.1, the Warriors cemented themselves as the greatest team of all time. And number 2,
you can't end the show like this.
LeBron. Wait, hold up. LeBron James is the greatest beta male of all time. And on that note, we will end this here and continue with the next debate. Who is the
Disagree.
greatest team of all time and who is the greatest basketball player of all time? And see you next time.